done like this is because it's coming from the restricted funds to put it in to be able to purchase the ag.
You're gonna vote on this now, or are you gonna go and talk about that?
We're gonna vote on this now.
I'm ready, I want to be part of the discussion.
You want to discuss it, please?
Well, y'all gotta have a motion.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Any discussion?
Yes. 2 nights ago, sat right down there, he said that that the county had decided what roads were gonna be done, and that it was already a done deal. Okay, you and Doug Mullins were the only ones, that's a Ward 2 council person, that's a Ward 3 council person, that decided which roads would be done out here. So, Ward 1, you had no voice in this action. Okay. I didn't ride around with precinct boss or whoever it was, so, if none of the roads get touched in precinct in Ward 1, it's not because I didn't try to have something to do. But you did say the other night, it's a done deal. Okay, and now you're asking for us to vote on.
I'm asking to buy material.
You're asking us for a resolution to buy material. Okay, you said it's a done deal.
To be used throughout the whole city. We went through and ranked every street in the city based upon number of potholes.
I'm just saying, y'all are not, do you not see, how would you feel if it would have been just me and Doug and nobody
care. I trust you.
You can care less?
I wouldn't care. I trust you as a council member to pick the streets that need to work most. You don't trust anybody, and that's what causes problems.
Y'all just said that all the potholes got repaired in the phones and all
I haven't drove around the whole city.
So you couldn't really say that all the potholes.
As far as I know, they did.
But anyway, I mean, I got nothing against buying a rock, but I just want a little bit more clarity on.
Well, they did.
Open transparency.
One of the things that they did say is they said which roads could be done, which ways, which one was the worst, and we already knew.
We talked about that a month ago, and we said that we were going to start on leaning up, but the reason why it was is because we wanted to get a half mile instead of getting. No use in bringing all that big equipment out here just to do a little section. Let's get a half mile of them. If they're going to do a half mile, let's get a half mile. Next year we'll get another half mile. And then it was brought up that they're not going to do anything this year anyway. So this is
that's what we were told.
Yeah.
We can only repeat what they tell us. So that's what they told us. That's what we said. We take
well, you said that the fiscal year was over, and then plus you got rainy weather coming. So if you think that they're going to start roads in January, February, that's a fine.
They told us they would do what they could if we had the money. So, y'all complain that we're not getting anything done, but yet we're trying to get something done and getting forward. But you want to complain that we're wanting to do this and move it forward.
I don't want y'all saying done deal.
I didn't say it was done.
He did.
Well, I didn't. So we made a motion, or we.
Aye.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair, sorry. I have it. This is when I'm sure.
That's just that gravel rock, right? That's just that gravel rock. Gravel like rock.
Doug, is that the rock they use to invert on the road? Is that what that rock is? And they do it. Yeah, they do the invert on the road. They put the oil down and then they come spread the rock. That's what that is. That's what kind of rock you got. Okay, good. All right.
That don't last long.
Is that dusty stuff like they did for River Bend?
What they used to at the whole
That don't last.
I don't want that stuff in front of my house. It's dusty enough.
They buy the stuff off the
Don't take it long.
I lived on the dead end street. No one drives down there.
So we turn into potholes now.
I want to have a drive-by party. Everybody's just gonna drive down my street.
They wash it up.
Okay,
My street's finally rolling.
some of y'all have been here when we talked about the road grant, and this is the low grant. Okay, this is the big one, $2 million. They, just to bring you up to speed for some people that hadn't been here, GLO gave us this grant stuff, it was almost $2 million, way back over a year ago. Okay, so we're trying to get everything in motion, to get everything done. We got the grant administrator in, and then we were getting ready to start going out and start soliciting bids, and the prices of stuff went up. Okay, the GLO decided, okay, let's wait on this. Let's see if the prices are going to come back down. Okay, so back about July, June timeframe is when they said this. Okay, was it May? Okay, they actually had pushed this thing out until next year. Okay, about a month ago, we had one of our calls. They said, well, we think we want to go ahead and let's move forward with this. We want to get this work done, okay, as soon as possible. So they changed the criteria of what type of material that we could use, and now they have said we're going to use hot asphalt, which is premium. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Matter of fact, the first notice for bid was supposed to be published today. The second one is supposed to be September 1st. Pre-bid meetings is going to be September 7th. Opening bids. Open the bids, once the bids come in and everything, it's going to be September 14th. This is straight from the grant administrator and GLO.
We're only gonna get it out there for a month.
That's what they have to decide. Plan is to hopefully start in November doing roads. Now, for this grant, the criteria is, these are the high traffic roads. Sweet Gum, River Bend, and these are the boulevard. Okay, so
Shipley,
pardon?
Shipley is kind of high traffic, isn't it?
Ships got more than that.
It's got a lot of traffic on there. It's kind of a secondary on the list. Okay. Because we're concerned about, even with the prices starting to come back down, on how far this money's going to go. Okay. Yeah. So we've already identified. Well, I'll take the hit on this one myself. I've already identified certain sections of Sweet Gum and some of the other streets of River Bend that don't need to be done. They're actually good shape. There's not even any pothole fields or anything in that section. Okay? So, but this way we can make money further. We can get more roads done. That's where Shipley's going to come in. Inwood, hopefully we can get in there. Carroll Lane, we want to try to get in there. Okay? These roads and stuff are, they need work.
Okay, Doug, are they gonna do just an overlay of what's there, or are they gonna grind it up and relay it? They're gonna really do it right.
Okay,
Okay,
we're gonna do it right.
do it right.
Do it right.
Okay, it's not just overlay.
No, it's not overlay. By all
Okay,
means.
very good.
Okay, and this is a description of what the work and stuff that they're gonna do. This came straight from GLO. Okay? They're gonna pulverize, reshape, and recompact existing pavement. So they're gonna grind it all up, reshape it out, level it out and everything. Then they're gonna turn around and come in with a concrete treatment on top of that. They're gonna mix it in, so it will be solid.
Yeah, we'll be good.
Lines,
Never have to worry about it.
Stabilization.
Right. Place limestone base, placement of top coat, placed with a 1.5 inch asphalt mix. Okay, replace pavement markers. They've got potholes on here, and let me explain the reason why they've got it on there. We also got a little grant from FEMA to do potholes. Now, let me finish. Okay? FEMA's description of a pothole fill is you go in there, you cut a section of the road out, and you replace it. That's their definition of pothole fill.
That's a big
Okay?
part.
That's the proper way to fix it.
That's right. Okay. Thing about it is, the FEMA money had identified much of the same area that the GLO did. Okay? So, FEMA has agreed that we can combine these monies and do more roads. Okay? So, things are looking up. This has taken a long time to do, I admit. We've been trying to stay on top of it. But if you're working with other people's money, you know, you can only go so fast. So,
You can only go so fast as they'll give you the answers.
Yes.
so anyway, okay, well, that's the part on the big road grant. Okay? So, contrary to some people's beliefs, we have not been sitting on this. We have been working very hard to try to get this thing through. Okay? We're finally going to be able to start seeing some results. According to the last information I had, and this is the list and stuff, and it was emailed to me August 1st this year.
I have one question. You said the top coat of asphalt, 1.5 inches, that's what they also put.
Normally you would have a 2-inch rough coat and then 1.5 inches.
I used to labor with that, all that, but my concern is that, most of the trucks that we have, the travel, are like garbage trucks, and dump trucks and things.
Buses.
Their load capacity is right around 60,000 pounds.
For the franchise
There's
fees.
64,000 pounds legal. And if I think we need to go at least 2.5 inch top coat. For the weight of those trucks.
Next item on the agenda.
I don't think we get to allow to set the,
I'm just,
Yeah, the
I'm
GLO said-
just asking, because that might be something for you to look into before they start lending. I want to investigate that. If I remember right, it was minimum 2.5 inches of asphalt, and 1.5 inches will break under a fully loaded truck. Coming in, they're fine on the garbage, but going out, they're heavy, especially when it's been raining. And then when you got like your
I will bring up the concern. Okay?
I know you've got numerous meetings coming up, and that's just a question to put out there.
Okay? Because I mean, they're the ones that lay out the guidelines.
Right.
Well, that's what they're gonna pay for. So, if we decide we wanna do any more than that, more than likely,
That might be where you might get an extra 1/2 inch.
but then there'll be less roads.
well, but it would be better to have a bunch of it done right and not be repairing it
Right.
again and then get a grant later on and get more roads later.
If
You
we
know?
get a really wet year and it starts breaking up again, they're right back to where you're at by that year. That's the
So,
only reason I'm saying,
yeah.
you might wanna look into it a little further. That's all.
Next on the agenda is, sorry, this is the FEMA grant, the resolution to remove, to cancel the FEMA grants for the city hall and the civic center so that we can move forward with, renovating which we've had the discussions, renovating our city hall and or civic center either in one building or renovating both buildings. I know on the fire station it would need a little bit more, sorry, because we need new doors. I mean, Fitz and Shipman identified the problem areas that was in those packets of last month for the report that he came out and to go ahead and renovate our buildings. And now that, since the 2-foot rule is shut off, even City Hall can be renovated, choose to. All we're asking for tonight is to reduce the grant for City Hall and Civic Center, because we're $2 to $2.5 million short on the bids that came in. So we're looking at reducing those grants and going ahead and renovating things that we have with our insurance funds and go wherever council designates it to go. Whether it's to pay off the water meters or roads, if we can get more roads done, or there's something else, because we're going to talk about that too.
Is there any the $202,000, or we're basically we're lost?
We would, yeah, because most of that, as you know, I mean, you and I have seen it, most of that was paid before we got in council.
Right.
I mean,
if we keep the grants, then with that $200,000,
we still haven't got it back.
I mean, if we kept the grants in action and we reset the scope of those grants,
I
and used it to remodel the building down there, then would the grant pay the $200,000 that we owe to Blue Line for the beach cabin?
Okay. The very first call that we were on with 2 FEMA reps, we were on with Tim, and we were on with one of the contractors. The insurance been on a couple of them. We were explaining that this grant is a 428 grant, that they wouldn't grow it back. They laughed in our face when we specifically asked if we could get more money. Well, when Becky was mayor and she got the first grant was to renovate the buildings. She requested more funding, and they were at the time they were starting they called it a pilot program, and so they give her an extra $1 million to elevate the buildings, but the buildings would be elevated 14 feet in the air. I had nothing but complaints, and at one point I was out here complaining, nobody's going to go into the Civic Center 14 feet in the air. I'm not climbing up and down steps.
I couldn't.
Marge's husband's in a wheelchair. I know we've got others out here too. I couldn't see doing that. So when we found the paperwork in Fitz and Shipman that said the original paperwork, we looked at it and we dug, and I called Fitz and Shipman, the same ones that came out that first time, and I asked him to come back and assess that building again. It's been 5 years, and I think it's 4 years since he originally done it. And he said, I'm going to tell you the same thing I said then. Fix these buildings. So, I mean, we've got it in writing. So what I'm asking for from council is for them to refuse to cancel this grant, I don't know the exact, it's just under 2 million, but I know it's 2 to 2.5 million short to raise the buildings, but to refuse that.
Y'all understand what you said about we don't have the money to put our 10% up to build buildings. Well, and I just want to say one more thing. If we go back to FEMA to have them reassess it and see if they would pay for the renovation of the old building, we could be waiting another 6 months to a year for them to come back.
I talked to Fred about it, and he said we put it in writing, and he said there's no, like,
Exactly.
Even FEMA told us
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Very soon as we could have, yes, would be 6 months to a year.
Football's coming early.
It's more beneficial to move forward to go ahead and cancel the grant and use the monies that we have
So
A lot of those grants you talked about, though, you said that a lot of those are what's called repayable grants or something where you have to spend the money and then you get the money back.
Well, the
Right.
thing is.
Right.
So if we spent the money and redid the buildings tomorrow, started on tomorrow, and we didn't get rid of the grants, sent in writing to them to redo the, rescope those bids, and they, a year from now, they said, yes, we will, then we got $250,000 from them to redo those two buildings, pay ourselves back because we spent the money. Is that,
I don't know if it was.
You can't.
That's not the way it would work. And you would,
I don't know.
I didn't know he's still there.
they approve the scope of the way, of the work. And if you don't comply with that, would be, or because as a contract, they would not reimburse it. It has to specifically comply with the pre-approved plan.
Well, I'm not really familiar with that. I mean, she
What else
says,
we gotta do on the
she
agenda?
laughed at us. I mean,
Gina,
So we're still on the hook for money to Blue Line, so we still have to pay.
Picking offices, public maintenance department, and
That money's gone.
Bud's,
Yeah, that money's gone, okay.
and Bud's
I was saying,
resolution
that's the
fee.
deal that's coming due.
Bud's resolution fee.
we don't know Blue Line.
no, we never checked them. It came out of insurance when they did pay. We just, we haven't got reimbursed by FEMA. And what I asked her to do is not send them any money to FEMA and we need to take this to a loan. Because we know we can't afford to go out for another loan for $2 to $2.5 million. It's all right, no.
No, we're not gonna do that. That's that. What, all I'm saying is, should rescope the whole thing, and if we did, a year from now, they said that we give you back the money.
My neighbors are awesome.
Nothing can be done until it's.
So if we do the work and have it there approved,
Didn't I understand you to say, Barbara, that the original part of the grant was to repair it, and then they decided to increase it?
Yeah, and she asked
So
for
so
more
that
money.
should already be,
No, she asked for more money and they approved it. Was it exactly right around $1 million extra? But it was, the buildings had to, these had to be torn down, and then we had to have new buildings built 14 feet. That's what the grant, those grants right now will pay for both these buildings to be torn down and new ones built. 14
if that was on a false accusation that they were condemned. They were never condemned.
That was before me.
Nobody could ever produce paperwork that it was
What we're
condemned.
trying to do right now, Dale, is we're trying to get this so we can.
I understand that.
Insurance money and get these buildings renovated. I mean.
I fully understand that, but if they had already approved repairing the building and then they went farther with the grant, then it's already approved.
They rewrote it and added more money to it and changed the scope of what was happening. So the remodel was out at that point, once the money was asked for and it was rewritten.
Yeah, you don't
Once
think
that
it was
grant
kicked
is
back and go to
rewritten,
the
you
left?
amend it and it's rewritten, then they tell you what you gotta do, and they made the regulations so high that the money wouldn't pay for what we were trying to do.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. And I had never heard of 428. We both looked at each other. What are you talking about, 428? It was a pilot program right after Harvey. I mean, who would have dreamed the prices would have skyrocketed like they did? But I still don't want to build in 14 years.
Well,
Without the elevator.
if we can't rescope it, if we can't recoup any money, then there's no reason to use it.
Okay, so I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion? The motion and a second. I want to make sure everybody. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Best commercials ever.
Okay, the next one is,
Jennifer didn't sleep.
listen, there's been a lot of discussion, I've gotten information together, Sharon Mitchell's gotten information together, Sharon, talk about this next resolution, or I will talk about it.
We'll both talk about it. I mean, it's basically, Barbara and I have been talking about this for a while.
Council members have.
Yeah.
All of us have.
And it's like, it's basically, let's start a public works department that will hopefully save the city some money by getting rid of some of the contractors that we really
We've got
don't
all
need.
members and I've got.
Yeah, we've all got members, there's a,
What
some
this-
papers of it too.
one of the things we look at doing is doing a highway, not ordinance, but highway fine, which we've got an ordinance on record. Basically, how to get around code enforcement at this point, and,
It's something similar to what Beaumont does with high weeds. They go out, they cut your grass, they put a tree.
Well, actually-
Lord, I'm gonna have to sell and move, because I've sold all my property in Beaumont just for that full ground right there.
no, what we do is the ones that are overgrown, the ones that are vacant. We're working on slapping, a notice on the door to be done 10 days from now. On that 11th day, we go in, see people, we go, and we got a public works guy, a public maintenance guy, to go in. We would, if we approve this, we can come back and look at final numbers. Charlotte's very well aware of this, she says we've got the money, and we can go ahead and revise the budget before our meeting.
Well, also too with the loan that you're
Yes, I mean, exactly, to cover, we're looking at 2 part-time people, that can mow, that can build potholes, that can,
How they gonna fill potholes? Walk around with a wheelbarrow?
Right, but,
be in charge of, community-wide cleanup day.
we've got, it's on, we've got a whole list on the resolution.
I want a paramedic, and a fireman. And,
How they gonna fill potholes? What are they gonna haul it around?
no, they're not filling.
We gotta go buy a new backhoe?
They're just throwing stuff, topping.
They can also, we've got some ditches like running from y'all on your street, okay? Now, in between the houses that go back, and what street was it? Because we drove it and tore down Ring. It's not so much that you need a ditch, it's the narrow D6 ditches that runs down the middle of the street, from street, or the middle of the houses, street to street, and, sorry, in between 2 houses that run all the way to the back, and then crosses River Bend, and, or crosses Sweet Gun, and goes all the way over to Bend and goes back. Those smaller areas, if we have a tractor lease with the mowing deck on there, if we have, if we purchase a chainsaw, they can go in there with the smaller equipment where DD6 can't get their big equipment in there, and they can clean that out. And they can keep it, these employees can keep it cleaned out this way.
And we're not gonna use the public works department to go after citizens. This is mainly for the abandoned houses.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many problems with empty houses that are not being maintained. And this is one way to legally do something with these properties.
But that's some of the things that we've identified. I mean, there's several things, and we might come up with more. This is not written in stone, this is gonna be the only job description. We're just looking at, my first question was, well, one of the things we said with the police, that we've got the money for it. Charlotte made that perfectly clear when I met with her. And that's why I was talking about the community development money coming from there to help pay for, I mean.
And this is actually community development, because it helps to, improve the community, develop it, and, and it's like, we can change the name of what she's doing from community development to community events. Something that can distinguish between the two, because this is just one way to try to clean up the abandoned houses.
Oh, I agree, I've got 2 raised houses.
Yours on the street, I don't even want to go down
Gonna
the
have more
street.
than that.
No, two beside me that are, nobody's living in them. The weeds are taller than me, the weeds are taller than me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, see, we got, yeah, okay. And Sherry, you've got numbers and I've got numbers. Not only could they do that, I had Sabrina go through, I had her only go through 2 years of utility innovations, our bills for them, and I asked her, identify the things on these bills, write down 2 years. How much money can we save by changing it, having these employees change endpoints, or doing turn-ons, turn-offs, or small things like that that don't require some, rereads are a big thing right now. So she identified, and how much money could we save from utility innovation, so we got that, we got the mowing contract, we haven't dropped the mowing contract. Absolutely. I mean, so that won't go out for bid. We will already have mowers here.
We don't have them all.
And, that would cover the mowing, and, I mean, got people that like to throw things out on the side of the road, that can, there's all kinds of things, you just never know from day to day, but these are things to help beautify our city. I think this is one thing that all of us agree on, home and our city. I mean, you're not gonna, I've been complaining for a long time, well now, how do we go about it? Well, now we can do, just hire somebody instead of going out to contractors to do this, to do that, what have you, and this is no way to do it. What else, Sharon?
What about things like trees?
They can do that.
See, I was just.
Well, see, we're on the Vita right behind Mr. Clum's house. So when that limb fell, it fell right there. And those guys took it and drug it over. We still look at it. It's just dead now.
That was a miscommunication on a job that was they were supposed to put that stuff out by the road.
If they'd have just cut it up, they'd have put it in our burn pile.
Well,
We didn't have a problem with it,
I'm gonna
but we're
get
still
to
looking at it.
That was part of ground.
Let's go on with this here, though, Sharon, what else did you identify?
Basically, everything that's in there, I mean, it's just a
Poor
lot
guy's
of
got
waste.
his work cut out for him.
And
Already. We got to make him cookies with a Christmas tree. It's exciting.
But I mean, it's gonna cover a lot of.
Hotel.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
And
start.
it, like I
Pays
said,
$35.
it's not limited to it, this is just a resolution to get us started to be able to create this department within the city, so that we can move forward as well.
If you do that, then we don't have to worry about taxes, insurance, and all that. It's a challenge.
You got a month left.
Okay, is there, Sherry?
Have you pay employees and their insurance and benefits and equipment? It'd be cheaper just to hire somebody on contract.
Yeah, but the guys like that hard right now, they don't do a very good job in my
What?
that tree. They pulled that tree over and
Oh,
left it
no,
where we could see
not
it.
them. Talking about to get them to take care of these ditches and stuff. It'd be cheaper to hire a contractor.
When it comes to ditching and stuff, I don't think they.
Oh, I
I
know,
don't have one.
love it on that.
Yeah, I don't have, we have a ditch in the back of our yard where it's training. It's kind of sad.
I know somebody right
This,
now.
yeah, this part tonight, to be able to create. And then we have
They jump on that contract. Way cheaper than just cousin just doing it. But cousin's friendly.
Well, you know, it's important, but I told you, we already have a budget to solidify this before.
A lot of stuff. When you look at insurance.
Yeah, and then what you gotta remember is, once these buildings, this is not, it's all out of that trailer, so I mean, there's a lot, well, you're saying, since we pay for it because the cost of everything right now, there's nothing wrong with that, no problem. That's neither here nor there, but we still need to get the park broken down, be able to sidewalk everything together, and let's put lots of heads, we use some money on it.
That's what I did, I put it in.
To where we're not spending, excuse me. To where we're not spending.
Yeah, I understand.
I know.
Vote on it, I mean, there's a lot of,
But we can always go back and modify, this is where us just to get started to create this. This, I mean, it's like anything, we can change.
Well, it's not, we're not gonna go out and hire somebody.
we're still gonna have utilities,
Till this is over.
because
Well, we're gonna have to have some,
we're gonna have to have them dig up land, roads.
Nature, light, rain,
we're gonna have to have batteries brought up, so.
Go down there and check, they gotta go catch the sample every day, they gotta go up there, go up down there.
They're gonna do all their normal daily stuff. But we won't be calling them out here. Do all the little stuff that adds up.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any further discussion on this?
I'll make a motion to,
I'll second. To approve it?
yes, to approve the formation of the public works.
This lady, Lady Publics, yes. All in favor? Any opposed?
When we form this, are we gonna, be offering retirement and insurance and all
No,
that?
that's why we're doing two part-time.
Okay.
Part-time.
Yeah, let's just say,
Well,
these fees are gonna get real cheap if we're gonna start doing all that.
We're gonna have one full now.
I mean, we can't, look at that, that's something
So
we.
if we go full-time, we're gonna have insurance and all the other stuff he's talking about.
But Doug, if you go through the person places you're talking about,
Go through
they
it.
pay for it, not us.
Well, we'll pay it for the, they're gonna make more money off of it. Like, the lease companies make money off
I was thinking of using them strictly to, we can't temporarily, but we constantly have to pay them.
of it. They make
A
money.
little bit more.
Yeah.
Rodney used
Okay, the next item on the agenda is going to.
Hey, Mayor.
Yes.
Can I interrupt right quick?
Scares me to death.
One of the, with respect to the general election, one of the natural, just once we were for general.
Break it up, Drew.
We can't hear
it.
you.
It's almost Tuesday.
And so for me, I mean, I think it's within fair notice, us ordering the general election that, we can sign a contract with Jefferson County to conduct the election.
Still paying him.
It's not what happened on the general election. I just wanted to let the council know that I would add that general election.
Okay,
It is ordering a general election, but we have to enter it, when a municipality does it, that means we are obligated to provide a voting place and a ballot and all that other stuff. But we contract with Jefferson County to do that. So I wanted to make sure that y'all knew that we have to sign a contract
hey, Drew,
with that.
is there something specific that you're needing me and council to say? Is there something I'm missing?
Yeah, so I think that needs to be a part of the minutes of the council, that part of their approval of the general election is entering into a contract with Jefferson County to conduct the election with the electronic voting machines. When we order the election, I'll add a sentence saying the mayors can sign with Jefferson County to conduct the election. And it's just one sentence in the general election, but it's important enough. I wanted to bring it up to the council. that affected their
You know,
decision
you
on
want
it,
to be.
so they can re-vote on it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go home.
No, I'm going to work. Because I got my next car.
You go home and go to bed. I have to put that thing back in.
I'm finished with it.
Oh, you feel so bad.
I'm finished with that thing. I'm working my pain and I'm supposed to. Rah.
Oh. Travis.
They say that.
Coffee, bro.
Oh, I saw it.
Twin brother. Yeah. It's so sad. He was 39.
How old are you?
August same month.
I don't know what I do.
I was a vegetable for months. Think about that.
You want to be mayor pro tem again? Sure. Okay, Martha can have it. Andy, you're welcome.
Hey, got a question for y'all on that water stuff. Oh. Something that y'all might not have thought of.
So that way, oh, shit, it's all Martha. Yeah, they get it. Oh, you wanna do that now? No.
I don't know if there's any discussion, this is the council discussion.
Well, in open discussion, I just want to be open and say, you told me that you were taking her off Mayor Pro Tem. I'm speaking to you, Barbara.
Oh.
You told me that she was taking her off Mayor Pro Tem, so because she wasn't helping you with all the stuff that we were doing. And then, so we put her on there. So now we're putting her back. So now we're putting her back.
Are you putting her back?
But I mean, y'all. You don't want to be.
I mean, I'd keep it, but, you know, I'm willing to share. I'm gonna pick up a mayor pro tem and an assistant mayor pro tem.
Nothing like a decision.
And just to let you guys know, I am working right now.
What do you want to do? I don't know.
So if the mayor pro tem wants to take over, we can, there's a lot of work behind the scenes. So
Wait, to, look at, something about it. Go ahead, okay. Do I have a motion for a second? Councilman.
Y'all do it.
So what's wrong?
Martha is mayor pro tem now.
Who is?
Martha.
I'm sorry, I'm very bad here.
Martha.
Again?
Yes.
Sherry just gave it back.
You can't vote. Or you don't have one. Oh, okay. Preschool.
Okay, I want to make sure. Did you see yours? Budget,
Okay. years ago, when Becky Ford was mayor, we took over the water department, okay? When a pump motor or something would go out down there, we had to have an emergency council meeting to be able to spend the money. Yeah, if it was $2,000 or $3,000, man, it might be on Saturday afternoon. People were at the lake, people were gone, we couldn't get the people. We just had to turn the water off. You know, that was our only other choice. So we decided to give the mayor, and it's in the minutes over here, we decided to give the mayor a $5,000 spending limit. And that was designed for emergency use on the water and sewer side, okay? Not for office furniture, for whatever else they want, you know, cut glass doors that said mayor's office on it, stuff like that. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, we had that. We had edge glass, you know, for the mayor's office in that building over there. But I just think that $5,000 spending limit should be limited to emergencies at the water and sewer plant and then the council that represents these people out here should be able to decide on whether we need to spend, let's say, $2,500 for a grass cutting guy to come out here, cut down 2 little old bitty trees, hide them over there in those woods at the end of the thing, and I can't make that up. Drive down there and look at it. And then he come over here behind the Civic Center, and the one that fell on Mr. Plum's house, he grabbed the other side of that, they cut it in half, and he grabbed it with that bobcat, and he took it around on the other side of that other tree that fell down, and set it right there. And I said, well, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm moving that, you know, he said, do you want me to go put it over there? I said, man, I'm out of this. I don't even know anything about what you're doing. I mean, we didn't get any bids, we didn't get anything. So, I mean, that's under Martha Botro's grounds and maintenance part. She's over that. So I guess she knew exactly what was going on here. And you went back and checked on them. You know, they put those trees in the trees up there, trees behind the other trees up there. No. See, I mean, if you're gonna hire somebody to do something, you gotta go check and make sure they do it. That's what I do. Do that for a living. And I go make sure that stuff's done. You probably do it at the restaurant.
What have to do with what you're talking about as far as spending?
It does have a lot to do with that because you hire people she can spend, if they say, okay, it's $2,500, boom, here's $2,500, go get after it. They were out here for 2 hours and they were gone. Okay, that's good money, 2 hours, $2,500, that's good money. But that needs to be, something like that needs to be brought before the city council.
Yes,
now, Martha, if that was your actual job, and you just said it was, then I don't see, you certainly don't have the authority to spend $2,500. No. You had to go through the mayor. I mean, when I asked that guy down here, and he barely spoke English, and I asked him, I said, who approved it? He pointed at that trailer. And I said,
My trailer?
No, that trailer where that office is. And I said, hey man, I'm part of that trailer, and I didn't know nothing about it. No, I mean, I'm talking about the city office. And I said, the mayor? And he said, yes, the mayor. That's what he told me. So, I mean, if you're gonna be over the ground maintenance and stuff, and I got all these pictures and stuff later.
I got stuff talking against my trailer.
Okay, but, I mean, how do y'all feel about it? I mean, should we have any kind of capital, mayor?
The only thing we have to do is in emergencies, when like the flood comes or we get something, we all have to leave again, and we can't get, anything. She has to come in and get, stuff for the water plants and, like in an emergency only.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
And that's what I'm saying. No, any other time.
Well, I still have to take my documents.
Yeah.
No, that was all under regular operating expenses. That is a whole separate, okay. I'm talking about general, I'm talking about.
Well, that's the
Computers,
Yeah, computer.
Well, a
trees.
computer could be considered an emergency item if they're going down to that given spot. Gotta have it.
I mean, she has to account for everything that she takes, if she takes it out of there. We have to have receipts for everything. When you have that money and you say, well, I spent $2,500, I want the receipts from it. As a
I
company.
couldn't find it anywhere in any of this budget and stuff. I never found it.
Myself, this is all,
Mhm.
I know, but it doesn't, yeah, it really shouldn't.
I mean, I don't see why it should be, I don't see why, I mean, I understand it being that high to do the water.
Right.
If a pump motor goes out, I get it.
But listen, that can be a $5,000 emergency. Okay? If there's an emergency, she has the right to spend that, no problem. If you wanna make another petty cash account that says she's got $3,000, not really a petty cash.
We always have that petty cash, I mean, that I knew about, we always have petty expense.
You can do something like that where she has to make a decision to go.
Where it was like $100, yes.
Or even if it's $1,200 for two new laptops because the other ones went out.
Maybe a better way to do that is if we had something where a tree fell in Mr. Clum's house, or you had the trees over here, that you have the ability to get 3 quick bids on it, make a choice, and then, I used to do this on the board when we had to make a decision like that and I was the president. I surveyed the board and I said, look, we had this problem, we've got these prices right here, call everybody has the same information, then Barbara can go ahead and write the check and get the tree removed. But I don't,
You only did one.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying, I don't like the idea of just one bid, one price. And, you know, cause everybody's looking for work, so if you could do that, that might be a way for y'all to not have to have an emergency meeting. You poll the board and we need to get this done, here's the 3 bids, what do you wanna do? That's just one
That'd be easier.
Say a quorum of 3.
Yeah, because I don't wanna have to have a special meeting every time.
No, we did that.
Because you have a meeting almost every day of
You might also wanna make sure you know what you're calling an emergency. Because the tree that was over there behind our house, that wasn't an emergency, it was just sitting there. When it fell on Mr. Clump's house, that's the emergency, but it was just sitting there.
No, that wasn't an emergency.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
that's what I'm saying.
No, and those trees over here, that wasn't.
What I'm saying was, you know, you wanna know what an emergency should be.
Interrupt right quick. Everybody else is
Now what we're gonna talk about.
You cannot, unless you give 72 hours notice to the public that you're gonna be discussing an issue with city council members, you cannot just call up people on city council and poll them if it's okay. Like, I am actively instructing the council, do not do that. That is a violation of the Open Meeting Act.
Do not do what?
What we're talking
Call each
about
other?
right now is Texas government, the Texas government code allows spending, without open bids, like we're trying, for $50,000. And so the Bevil Oaks is much more conservative and lower that for the bidding process to $5,000 with respect to the council putting it out and making sure that the resolution stated that, any contracts out for bid need to be put to local vendors as well to try to encourage local vendors to have access and spending of it. But it's already quite a conservative number to go from $50,000 to $5,000. But I do want to make sure that y'all understand you cannot just depend upon the system that as y'all calling each other, seeing if it's okay, and doing it. That's not permitted. Sorry, I said that.
Well, and I will say this, that was in a nonprofit situation, okay, which is the city council is absolutely different. But I do know that the city of Beaumont, I used to do a lot of work for them. They would allow the building maintenance guy or whoever to accept a bid, anything less than $10,000, he could just choose someone and let them do the work. From 10 to 25,000, he had to get 3 bids. Anything over 25, you had to go out for bids. You had to work forward. So I understand what he's saying, and yes, he's probably correct. You're a city, you're not nonprofit.
It's different.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing in Lamar.
Yeah.
They can, up to 50,000, they can do it around, you can go to 50,000, it's 3.
Yeah, 3 bids, and then at a certain breaking point, and you don't have to have a bond or anything, that it's not a performance and payment bond. But when you got to a certain dollar amount, then all that kicked into effect. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, here's another question for you, Drew. What about about hiring and firing employees? Is that in the mayor's scope? You breaking up?
That way
How
back
can you
to
fall asleep again?
No, I'm sorry, I apologize, I had it up to you.
Okay.
Are we
Is
talking about spending limits or,
is hiring an employee? Can the mayor go out and just hire an employee for the
yes,
city?
the city council has authorized her to do that. You authorized her to do it.
When?
I was at the meeting.
When was that?
It was, this has been an ongoing issue that, remember, we don't have city manager style government. So pattern and practice matters. And so if it doesn't violate the charter, which it doesn't, the powers of the mayor, then the way a type A general municipality works is powers not specifically reserved by the city council are granted to the mayor for general administrative matters. For all practical purposes, the city council has complete power over the salary, the continued payment of a salary. If the city council wants to terminate someone that the mayor hired, the city council has that ability. The city council has control through official action over any item that basically affects the budget, and that would be payroll. So her ability, or his, if a male mayor's elected, to hire or terminate someone is generally is generally always controlled by the city council. Now, as the way that Bevil Oaks has traditionally done it, the city council members aren't there every day. Mayor Evans is down there every day. So if she saw inappropriate conduct and decided to terminate someone on the spot, that's been a power that has been given to her. And quite candidly, you know, that's an effective check on city employees non-city employees that you need someone there that's doing the public's best interest.
That's a law. That's a law, Drew. I've looked at it. That is a law. The mayor can do that. Actually, the mayor can have someone arrested if something happens in her presence. She can have them arrested for a violation of the ordinance, but she'd have a hard time finding somebody to arrest because the sheriff's department.
Drew wouldn't know that, or at least it's just.
Well,
My question is,
the hiring and firing deal, the city council generally, I would say, has 95% control over but the actual act of hiring and firing has always been provided to the mayor. She has had the ability to terminate on command. We've had some issues with where the mayor has had to step in and terminate someone.
okay, let's go back to hiring. Let's go back to hiring, because hiring someone, you got time there, right? I mean, you don't have to hire. You're not inappropriate behavior firing somebody.
City council can adjust their pay from whatever she hires them at down to zero.
No.
City council has never given up the ability to terminate an employee that the mayor hires. So the council has the authority to do it, but the initial act, like the administrative act of hiring someone, has always been with the mayor. And the council controls it thereafter. So if the council had a problem with it, they can call an emergency meeting and someone will get a 3-day paycheck. Well, emergency meeting, they get a 1-day paycheck. If the council had a real problem with the hiring. But the administration of the office has always been given to the mayor.
Well, I mean, if that's what it says, that's not exactly what we found in the minutes, but I'll research it a little bit further. But as far as, you know, there's no background checks done on these people. There's no, I mean, the mayor can just hire someone in, and then that person's gonna have access to all of our private information at City Hall. And we have no background check, no nothing. We don't know where the person came.
And the council has continued ability to terminate those employees.
Yeah, after the fact.
I will always support the council's decision on matters of personnel elections.
Can't the council set forward guidelines of hiring if they're gonna be hiring hire people now. So, you know, you don't wanna have a council meeting every time you need to hire somebody.
No, but if we're gonna start a public works department, and we're gonna hire 3 people or 2 people, wherever, I mean, we're gonna hire.
The ordinance actually says city council controls that department. We just voted on. Yeah, so the hiring would actually be.
It's probably easier to think of the council controls it, and the mayor administers it. He's the one that's there making the day-to-day decision and oversight. Or he.
So what you're saying is, if the mayor wanted to tomorrow, he'd go hire another person to work in all this, is that correct?
Correct.
Doesn't matter, I mean,
And then the council would terminate a person, a day later, the council could terminate.
okay,
If it was an emergency.
alright. So she has the right to, I mean, you slam pins down, Barbara, all day long. I mean, I'm asking a question.
And you have asked.
This is me doing, no, I did not, no, I did not, no, I did not. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna wait for you to be quiet, and I'm gonna continue on.
Then continue,
Okay?
but do not repeat what you've already asked.
Read through. If, so what you said was, if the mayor decided to hire another person tomorrow in the office up there, then she has the right to do that.
What I have said is, the city council, through pattern of practice, for over a decade and a half, has always granted her that power. I affirm that you have been on the council that have affirmed her power to do that.
Okay, I'll check it. Now, we want to move on to discussing the mowing contract. Right now, we have none, and we have no proof of insurance up there for the people that are doing the mowing. And I want
We've
to.
never read on the personnel thing, I'm not tracking how I do.
We didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
No, we're done with the personnel.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the mowing contract, Ms. Botro. Their last meeting, y'all said that we did have a contract, no, and I asked if they had insurance, and y'all said you thought they did, and I believe or something like that, but it's expired. Couple of years.
2 years ago.
And that's just a piece of paper that they give us on file. I'm sure they have insurance. They're a big company. I'm sure they have insurance, but we have no record up there. And right now they're working without a contract.
See, Mayor Ford, she's the one that hired them back.
She hired them back. No, it wasn't y'all that hired them back. What I'm saying is that the contract that she hired them under has since expired last year. Not this year, but it expired last year, 2025. So they've been working actually without a contract. I don't know how have you been paying them?
I've been asking council to put out bids. Remember we talked about putting out bids for other mowing contracts.
You should, that's obviously.
And but nothing happened with it. I did ask for that because I asked who, I knew who they were, and I wanted to know if they were all, all this was done. And the thing is, I asked for it, and I didn't get it.
Well, all you have to do is fill out one of these things right here, and you get on the agenda, and then ask for it, and then we'll vote. And then they'll have to go out and put it up to bid. And they have to move.
We talked about that the other meeting. Public.
Public is gonna expire in 6 months, okay? Are we gonna go out for bid on it?
Yep.
Yes, we don't have to publish it. It's under $50,000. The city's not paying for that contract. So the citizens are, so it still needs to go up.
I think everything needs to go up.
The public right now is giving us the best rate because this is something I'm working on. Piney Woods is extremely high. Right now Republic is doing a audit to see if they owe some. They're willing to pay. Isn't there another? AWS is astronomical.
I mean, the only one I know is Republic other than.
Republic's been the.
Always. That's what it says.
Yep.
That's what Mark.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it, so.
Always.
Always.
That's
She
the
used
trash.
always.
Trash.
Sorry?
That's the trash can.
Yeah.
Violation.
Contract with Republic.
Why would y'all wanna consider Piney Woods when they're higher than Republic? What was the benefit?
Go out for bid, find out how much it is.
Yeah, she said they were high.
Sherry had them come in and do a report, there was supposed to be another company.
AWS brought in, proposal, as far as the ones that will do it.
Okay, here's a prime example, Mark. Look. Here's number 5 on that. I would like to have the attorney's invoice in our council package each time. And he turns one in every month, okay? And it's detailed. And I would just like instead of us voting to say, okay, we're gonna spend $5,000 this month on the lawyer, all those in favor say aye, passing that whole ball of wax. I would like to see what we spent the money on that month. And who made the phone calls and who is using the attorney. Why we're having it. I mean, we're a little bitty place. I don't know why. There's no way I can know why because I can't see it. I don't see it. Okay, so that was one thing that I asked, and I don't know if that's a problem or not. If we do that.
Well, Sherry normally approves the bills, I mean, she sees them, but every once in a while, they're not and stuff. I mean, they're pretty detailed, she can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, it's just a little
He even breaks it down.
page or two, and it'd be in the packet, right?
Well, we're not talking about this, this is not actually.
I see we get a couple people looking at it, I find that too, but I mean, I'd like to look at it too.
It's like if we put it in our packets, at least we can see it, because back in the day, like when Kathy Crane was on city council, they had a treasurer, and they would look at all the bills before they were even paid. The city council would look at it.
Yeah, we don't have to. Okay.
Ledger showing how checks.
Yeah, oh yeah, and then look, and then
She said she would.
she has a ledger she does one every month, okay? Sabrina does. And all she's gotta do is put a copy of that, that's just like a checkbook register, okay? And then we just see, instead of this 20 pages of $7 million worth of assets down here and all that, I mean, I don't need to know about that. I just wanna know how much money that we spent that month. You know, we bought $800 worth of supplies, and we bought, you know, and she's already doing it, so if she just puts it in the packet, we can look at that.
But she's not doing Charlotte's first doing it, she does.
She does a spreadsheet. So I mean, if she just sticks that in the package and be just like us glancing at a check register, instead of having to try to decipher those 20 pages.
We still need those financials.
That's fine, if we have the finances in there, that's fine. I mean, I know, and I
But
wanna
that's
know.
what you have to vote on to. Those financials.
I get that, but if we could just, we did that before, a long years ago, through nothing, but we had the attorney's thing in, and we had like a checkbook ledger. It wasn't that much stuff, it's this much stuff on page, you know? It's, they spent this on this, and we had to call this guy out to come fix this, you know, there it is. And that way we know where the money went that month. But if somebody asks me, you know, I don't have to say I don't know. You know. And I think that's it. And then we had all these pictures, and I want one of these pictures, one of the main pictures that we have here, and it's on number 33. I want y'all to look at number 33. Yeah. When you open it up, okay, do you see that sign? It says no, you know, that's a DD6 sign. It says, you know, nobody, no trespassing, you can't go past that little sign right there. That's down there by that soccer field where those kids play and stuff like that. And when you turn that sign sideways, you know, if you're looking at it from another angle, you can't see it. I mean, they would run right into that. A kid would run right into that pole. There's nothing on the pole, it's silver.
Hey, buddy, talk to us.
Well, I wanted to let them,
Well,
you're looking at it, right?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at that. And the other thing is, okay, we do have a Republic dumpster down at the, I think you delivered it. And then I took pictures of the grass down there at the sewer plant and water plant, okay?
Who verifies it?
Huh?
Who verifies it?
Martha's over the ground. Martha, do you go down there and look?
We've had different around, depending on.
I know, but you can clearly see in these pictures that hadn't been touched in, this year. I would say this year. I mean, the weeds were over the hood of my four-wheel drive truck. I mean, they ain't been mowed in a little bit. Now, this fence in the back of the retention pond, it's on, trees overgrown, so number 5, okay? If you look at that, I rode around behind that. We used to keep a path cut behind these fences, to protect those fence lines. All the other fence lines are protected. This one has trees growing through it that are it's pushing the fence down. And this is a nice fence, chain link fence, barbed wire top, but they quit mowing behind it, and it's overgrown, and the trees are growing.
That's on the back side
of the rainwater retention pond.
of.
Yeah. Now the other one, they make a pass down behind the old sewer plant. They make a pass down there. They still mow a pass down there. I used to mow that. And they still make that pass. When they added those other fences in there, they've never cut that. I'm saying, those trees are 20 feet tall. And they're pushing the fence down, and eventually they're gonna collapse the fence.
That's all actually on our contract.
It may not, I tried, I did the best I could with looking at this thing right here, to try to see what they're supposed to mow, and it's not clearly identified there. It's not, it just shows a green and a yellow down there.
Those piles and stuff, trees and stuff right down there too.
Now those piles, cousins used to brush all that. That used to be kept.
That was extra.
Well, I'm not saying it's not wasn't extra. I'm saying that was part of they served them out 2 or 3 times a year. They went down there and brushed all that. That's where we piled all those trees up after that storm went through here. Brought all those trees and made all those piles down.
I was under the impression that they were gonna mow that last year.
Well,
they're gonna have to mow now because that's where the rock is gonna be at, where we're gonna put the rock at. So it's got to be mowed. The county's already told us that.
Well, it's high, it's that tall. So,
Bush hog.
I'm just saying,
Things that need to be done.
it's just that, I don't know, we don't have a contract, okay? So, do we need to get this in the contract? We need to hire one of those guys, one of those mulchers, that can drive through along the back of that fence and mulch that, so that fence doesn't get tore up, and then that would stay put for a while, because when you mulch with one of those mulchers, pretty much they ain't nothing gonna grow there for about a year or 2. And
I would say that this is a good starting place for our city works.
Public work. And the other thing is they wouldn't have to do a whole lot of weed eating, public works people, if they could spray. They could spray all those fences. All those fences could be sprayed.
Where's number 9?
Huh?
Where's number 9?
Number 9?
The mattress and.
That's what's in the dumpster. That's that day we picked up that stuff off the River Road.
Somebody had dumpsters.
It's still in the dumpster. They haven't been
The dumpster's been down there a year. I don't know how long.
It's over a year that I delivered it, wasn't it, Doug?
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's not really costing us anything until you actually take it off.
I don't know.
They don't take it off till they're full, right?
It's not full yet.
You're sure, that's not really right. You get 3 a year, and all you do is email your representative, and just tell them when you want them delivered, they deliver.
Yeah.
When you want them picked up.
It's
Yeah,
not
they
full
were
yet.
pretty quick when I had Sabrina call them, and I told them what we, because we still had to get the rest of the civics and everything out.
There ain't much in it. It ain't, it's not
But at
habitable.
that point, we didn't know.
And I put a mattress right there.
No, we need more than that.
No, I mean, that was the big
Well, we
one.
would've,
You get 3 a year.
if we'd have had a citywide cleanup, we would've needed them, could've used for,
That's what they're supposed to anyway, twice a year or something.
but we hadn't had that last couple of years.
What else is on your, packet, bud? I know we're all tired.
Might as well just stay.
Well, I mean, that's about it. I mean, if you don't have a mowing contract, we need to see what we can do about maybe Mark putting it on the agenda to,
Do we wanna get a contract? Wanna let it keep going like it's going?
Let it ride.
we need to get a bid.
Okay,
Yeah.
let it ride for us.
Or
Let it
just
ride.
leave it like
I
it
think
is.
let it ride until we figure out what we're gonna do, because if we go into another contract, we won't be able to start the public works
Correct.
until that contract's
And
over.
that's gonna be part of it. I mean, that's gonna be one of the places.
Oh, it's not my
where
fault, it's
we
like I
make
kept my
money
one.
from the mowing contract.
Yeah,
That
so
we
we
don't
don't-
got our own mower out here, 25,000 a year.
Yeah. Yeah, before the rock
We
gets
don't
here.
want county mow before the rock gets here, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
I'll get that area mowed.
You mow a spot.
Use your push mower.
Right?
That's probably not gonna be till next March before the rock.
Well, we were gonna go, I wanted to go over this about what, it's trivial now if we're gonna have a work department, but I wanted to go over why we were mowing certain parts on here that were in the contract, they do mow. That some of it's in front of people's houses, you know, I mean, when you mow one person's ditch out here, other people want you to mow their ditch, there's several things on there. The end of Inwood on the far end, that's part of the mowing contract. They mow down there on the end of that road. There's no house up there, it's vacant property. That's where the Republic trucks turn around and you need 4-wheel drive. I mean, because the people can't put their garbage cans on the street, so the truck can just make them pass. But we don't have to go over this, because if we're gonna have a public work, and we're gonna continue on with what they're doing, then I guess continue on, because it's almost the end of the season.
Well, one of the things you definitely identify is where all executive employees mowing at, where they need to get up, how often,
Yeah, that'll all get through, that'll all be with the public work department.
yeah, exactly.
So have y'all considered on your public works department what chores you're gonna have them doing as far as the water stuff goes? Certain jobs on those meters have to be certified.
Turn on, turn off.
Yeah.
Putting in
I don't know which
endpoint.
ones have to be, but I know certain ones
Yeah,
have
they're
to
not
be
gonna be
certified.
replacing lines, they're not gonna be doing.
Testing the water.
The water.
That's got a chain of
We're
custody.
keeping that contract
Okay.
in place right now, right?
Just asking if y'all were considering
They're
it.
gonna be checking on the sewer pump, they're gonna be doing the water sample every day. There is a chain of custody on the water samples, that they catch and they have to take it to the place.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Well, anybody else have any
I second it.
Hey, troublemaker.